Chapter 1095. When she thought that she might be ill, Lucy felt that the itchiness became much stronger. She panicked and thought to herself, what if she really got sick? I'm reuniting with my husband now. If I really get sick, it's hard to hide it. What if he finds out? What's more frightening is that when the two were in Whale's house yesterday, the sound of the waves still remained. At that time, my husband Michael didn't prepare any measures. What should I do if she infects him? In this way, doesn't he know that he has been with others in the black coal mine? Thinking of this, Lucy decided to go to the hospital for a checkup tomorrow morning. If she didn't get sick, she would be lucky. If you really get sick, no matter what, you must quickly find a way to cure it. But the problem comes again. When you go to the hospital, you have to register, you have to check, you have to prescribe medicine, and you have to be treated. I am penniless now, and I don't even have the money to go to the hospital for registration. The lady has $60,000. But how can she get a little bit of this money from her? Lucy knew very well that the lady had a lot of opinions about herself now. The reason is that when the lady asked her husband for money, she and her husband were perfunctory, but Alex lost the money, making the lady very angry. So in this case, it is definitely impossible to borrow money from a lady. What can I do? If you are really sick, you can't help but treat it. Thinking of this, she suddenly became worried. How can I get some money? She suddenly thought of selling TV and got a little inspiration instantly. This villa is so big, there are so many furniture and appliances in it, so you can find one or two that are not very noticeable. Can you just sell it? So the lady would not know. Thinking of this, Lucy relieved her heart and decided to go back tonight to see if there was anything that could be sold secretly. After selling the money tomorrow, she would go directly to the hospital for registration. However, Lucy didn't expect that the itchiness would intensify instead of any relief. She sat on the chair and rubbed back and forth for a long time. The more she rubbed it, but she always felt very uncomfortable for the itching of her boots. Michael saw that she was always rubbing back and forth there, and couldn't help asking, "My wife, what's the matter with you? Are you feeling well?" Lucy panicked and said hurriedly, "It's okay, there is nothing uncomfortable." Michael nodded without further questioning, but after a while, he leaned against her ear and said softly, "Wife, are you guilty of hemorrhoids?" When Lucy heard this, she waved her hand subconsciously and said, "No, don't talk nonsense." Michael smiled and said, "I'm an old husband and, wife, I don't know you yet. Didn't you often commit crimes before? I will buy a box of ointment on the way home later, and just go back and apply it." Lucy said in a panic, "What are you talking about?" "Nothing." The more unnatural Lucy's expression is, the more it looks like he wants to cover up in Michael. So, Michael gave a smirk, pointed at the seafood on the table, and said with a smile, "My wife, it doesn't matter if you don't admit it, but don't blame me for not reminding you that the seafood on the table is all fat. If there is inflammation in the body, or have any ulcers, acne, or hemorrhoids, but you must not touch seafood. You have eaten so much just now, so be careful." Lucy was shocked when she heard this, and even the silverware in her hand fell to the ground with a bang. She also knows that seafood is hairy, inflammatory wounds or hemorrhoids are afraid of hairy, but are you afraid of gynecological or venereal diseases? Thinking of this, Lucy immediately took out her mobile phone and searched for a line on her mobile phone while others were not paying attention. Can STDs eat seafood? After searching, the results came out to her shock.